So, Dr. Nkanda, why do you believe that leadership starts in the home?
Okay, excellent question. I should say that, can you allow me to first define leadership?
Yeah, you can define leadership, because I think if you can define leadership and then we take it to why you believe that it starts in the home.
Okay, so I'll first begin by saying what leadership is not. Number one, leadership is not a title.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a position.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst we are still defining leadership, you also allow me to say that it's a principle in life that reception is highly dependent on perception. How we perceive something is how we receive it. So there's a way how Malawians, Africans, we perceive leaders. We perceive leaders in the context of their titles,
and the position,
in the context of their positions. And because of that, we have ended up concluding as leaders first that leadership is an opportunity. But leadership is a challenge. Yeah, because the moment you embrace leadership with excitement, there is something questionable about your perception of leadership. Leadership is an assignment, not an excitement. So leadership is not a title. It's not the benefits. It's not a position. Leadership is a function. It's a function.
Something has to move.
Yes, it's a function. But now on function, there are also two key things we can talk about on function. You function as you are designed. There are some people, they are not designed as leaders, but they are in leadership positions. So they can't function. They have the position, they don't have the function. But allow me to also say that being designed as a leader is possible for everyone, as long as you are willing to go through the designing process.
So in other words, you're saying within each one of us, we have an ability to be leaders.
Exactly. Okay. Everyone can.
But you have to be maybe trained or prepared to be the leader that you have to be.
Excellent.
Okay.
You allow me to use the word processed.
Okay.
Yes, because a lot of people want to progress into leadership. Very few are willing to be processed.
So people want the glory without the story.
Without the story, yes.
And I think I like that, because I think that's the other challenge that we have with young people, where you see a lot of institutions or a lot of startups, everybody wants to be the boss, and everyone wants to go there and become that thing, attain the position, attain the title, without necessarily going through the process.
And talking about young people, we're living in this microwave generation where you just want to press something and then you get results. That is why most of the destinies are being aborted way before their time. Businesses that are collapsing, not because they are within, they are outside an enabling environment or a profitable environment, but the one doing business has no capacity.
Or has not been fully processed to
win in business. Yeah, but back to the definition of leadership, I'll say leadership is function, but the functioning is highly dependent on how you are designed. So this designing is now the process that maybe you were not meant to be employed. You were meant to employ others. So, but for you to get off employment, sometimes you know that this environment is not good for me. A fish must be in the waters, not on the sand. So it's not good environment, but there are times when circumstances will just force you out. And sometimes it's painful. But that pain now
is what puts you.
Yes, it now begins to build you. So now, quickly back to your question as in why leadership must begin from our homes. Just like I said, that leadership is not a position. Leadership is function. So now, in the homes, there is the real us.
What do you mean by that, the real us? Like, you can't lie about who you really are when you are in the home.
Yes,
All gloves are off
you
when you're
can't
in.
lie for long.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if I really want to know you, let
Go
me
to my
meet your
house.
maid.
Yeah.
Before I meet your husband or your children, let me meet your maid. And then your maid,
Will tell you.
through observation, will begin to say, madam is a very good woman. Sometimes a guard will tell us stuff. Because there, you are not working, you are living. Not working, you are
But they're
living.
living.
So it's your life that matters. Whilst when you are outside that home, it's your skill that matters. So you can be very good at what you do. That is why sometimes you go to workplaces. It can be in the bank. You find on a frame, on a picture frame, there's a lady there. They're saying this is the most hardworking woman.
Employee of the month.
Yes, employee of the month. But if the husband passes by to pick the keys, and
They'll be shocked.
he's saying, no, you're joking. You're joking. So at skills level, this woman is flying. Career. But at the life level, this woman is failing
dismally.
Character.
So in other words, you're saying that your skill have nothing to do with your leadership capacities. You
Adds
can be
value.
a highly skilled human being, but fail as a leader.
Very bad leader. A very bad leader. That is why a decision is powerful than an action. Because to decide, you decide based on what you know is right and
with your convictions.
Yes, your convictions.
I also believe that you decide because as a leader, that's your job.
Yes, of course.
It's your job to make those decisions.
Yes.
So you have to decide. But what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is you make those decisions, informed decisions, based on what you know, based on what you have accumulated.
And who you are.
And who you really are.
Yes.
And who you really are now is coming out because of the process that you've been through.
Yes, that you've been through.
Which means, therefore, the process that I would have gone through, the process that you would have gone through would be totally different.
Of course.
So therefore, the kind of leader that I would be
yes,
would be different from the kind of leader that you would be.
Yes.
And for me, I still want to take it back to the home to say, do you believe that the home now becomes the mold that molds us into who we eventually become? Because I'm a firm believer of the fact that what happens in the home is usually private.
Yes, of course.
But life has a way of manifesting it, of what happens in the home publicly.
Yeah, true.
So I want you to maybe talk about that thing where if leadership really starts at home and if what happens in the home matters.
Excellent observation there, Doc. So I would say that you see, managers in companies are coming from homes. Presidents were raised in homes.
Our pastors are coming from homes.
Pastors are coming from homes.
Yeah.
Now, talking about pastors, there are times a pastor is preaching in the church.
Yes.
Now, this is a pastor by calling, by position, is your pastor. But what he's saying, sometimes the church is able to pick what he is saying, but he's speaking from a wound. There are times also, you can be a manager in a company, but you are struggling to manage that company. You have all the academic pursuits attained, but you are failing because you are not okay from home. So borrowing from your word that most of the things that happens at home are private, but that's where real life is.
Yeah.
Everything great.
And I like what you said, the at home you are living.
Yes.
And normally in public you're acting.
You're working.
You're working.
Acting is the word.
Or becoming, trying to show that you are somebody.
Yes. So like the observation that you made about different leadership styles, I'll give you an example. So in a home, say there are 4 children. Children are not parented the same way.
No.
It will be a grave mistake to parent your children the same way because they are different personalities. Say I'm a dad, I'm a father. I need to get to know my children. This one will grow up to be a great leader. This one is artistic by nature. This one is artistic. This one loves football. This one is like this. This one is a writer. So
you can't use the same blueprint that you use with this one.
It will be
this
a grave mistake.
So this one is an artist. This one wants to be an engineer. How you balance these two will have to be different.
Will have to be different. So you allow me now to say that even where the word leadership is originated from, what it means is there is a place all of you must go.
Mm-hmm.
But the leader has gone there before and he came back to pick those people who have not been there.
Okay.
So that also now projects leadership as a very tough task, because the people that you are following will tell you that, no, that doesn't look like the right path. There are thorns there. At least this way, there are some ice creams. But this guy will tell you that, no, I tried this one before.
There's actually good food there.
Yes, but we won't get there. But the thorny one is just here and there and the rest.
There's a story in the Bible about Joshua and Caleb.
Yes.
When they went into the promised land.
Oh, yeah, to spy.
So these spies, they came back and said, oh, we have seen these, they are giants.
Yes.
The children of Anak. We were like grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers, yes.
What. But Caleb and Joshua came with a different report.
Yes.
They said, no, we did go. We did see the giants.
Yes.
But we are strong enough to conquer them.
I
think it's about also perception, about courage, also about your attitude towards the challenges that you and I like the fact that you're saying leadership is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And
it's not an excitement.
When you're leading people, it is not always going to be smooth.
No.
And if you as a leader, if you are saying that leadership, you have to take people somewhere, it means you've been there. It means you navigated all those thorns, all those crooks, everything.
So on that one,
you got there.
On that one, you allow me to disqualify some people for leadership. Whoever is a father in a home or a dad and is going nowhere, that one is very pathetic.
It's very pathetic. So in other words, you're separating parenting in the home to leadership in the home. These are two different
functions. Of course.
There's parenting and then there's leadership. What's the difference?
You parent their lives. You parent your children's lives differently, like I said. But leadership, you lead them as a unit.
Okay, so you are a united force.
Yes.
But you understand that in each, there's different players.
There are different players
within the team
who also have got different destinies. But okay, I'll give you an example. I have a family vision. I have a family vision. It is my desire that whosoever child of mine doesn't want to be employed, I think he can take whatever I'm building to the next level. Sorry to also say that if I will come at a place in my life where I have not built what I was supposed to build as an inheritance for my children, I'll be the first to admit that I have failed. So my kids
because
are not...
a good parent leaves an inheritance for his children.
Yes.
So I think what our generation is doing now, we are living backwards.
Yes.
What our parents failed to do for us, we are trying to do now, and then trying to leave an inheritance for our children's children.
Of course,
when this was supposed to have been done by our parents.
We are doing almost a double job.
Yeah.
One that our parents could not do for us.
Yeah.
And then also something that we must leave for the kids. But I love your question, parenting and leadership. Leadership, I think you lead both them, their mother, the kids, and then you also lead yourself first before you lead them. So there's a place where you are going.
So in that sense, because we also need to realize that we are not just talking about leadership in the home where there's mother and father. There will be homes where it's a child-headed household.
Yeah.
Or it's a single parent home.
Yes.
Or maybe these are street kids. They just live in a shack somewhere. There's also got to be, that's where they will not be parenting in a child-headed household, but there will be leadership there. So there's also those fathers that are raising their children on their own, mothers that are raising children on their own, sisters that are raising children that don't belong to them, but they belong to their sister who is now no longer with us, or maybe is unable to take care of the children and all of that. But it's a home anyway. So I think for me, the trajectory for each of those homes would be totally different, in as much as you're also saying that leading different types of people that have different personalities, different goals, different destinations is also different.
And also, just to maybe add on that, I would say that parenting is maybe bottom up in nature. Leadership is top bottom. And what I mean by that is parenting, you first look at the child. And then the way how that child is will determine how you're going to relate. I'll repeat that word, relate. So the relating with that child is what I'm referring to as parenting. But it's bottom up because you're looking at the child first before you look at yourself. Leadership, I would say, is different because it must come from the top bottom.
You are the one that is bringing the vision.
Yes.
This is how we are going to live our lives in this home.
So a child can say, I want to go to that school, not that school. So you know that he wants to go to that school because our friends are there. So you say, you are not going to that school.
You are going to this day.
You're going to this school. But you also reason with the child because you want to groom them in decision making. Why do you want to go to that school? The people are not as strict. But here they are too strict. Okay, so you need a strict school to excel in academics. So you are going here. You are leading. You are leading beyond parenting. You are leading. Yeah.
I also believe that there is this understanding that we need to have both as parents and or guardians, or whatever situation that you find yourself in, where understanding that if you're raising a child, whether it is your child or somebody else's, you are literally just a steward.
Of course.
We have been given a responsibility to raise the next generation. For me, that's a powerful challenge.
It's a noble task.
It's a noble task. And above everything else, it is a privilege to be entrusted with the responsibility to raise the next generation. Therefore, it matters how you're raising.
Of course.
Because remember, what happens in the home shall eventually reflect in the public.
Yes, of
Whether
course.
this person takes up national challenges, institutional challenges, whatever it is, it shall reflect. That is why you are able to go into some homes and you know, this child wasn't raised right.
Yes, of course.
This child, there's something that is missing. This child wasn't raised right. You are able to see, because there are some universal or fundamental issues that every child needs to observe.
Of course.
And if they don't, then you know something went wrong here. Their upbringing wasn't right. So this thing for me, usually it is double. Sometimes it's positive. Sometimes it is negative. There are other people that would have had, they had the most difficult childhood, but they used it to get themselves in a better place.
Oh, yeah.
But there are other people that would have gone through the same, and then they go worse. And then the opposite. Their childhood was good, and then eventually they end up very bad. So I think for me, that's why it is very critical for us to differentiate when we're talking about parenting and leadership in the home.
Oh, excellent thoughts there. Anyway, it's a Bible that also says the lesser is blessed by the greater. I agree with you that we have got a difficult task, a challenging task. To both lead and parenting. There is none of those that is easy.
It is not easy.
Because these are lives, way beyond maybe a job, but these are lives. So echoing back the question that you conveyed, that don't you think leadership must indeed start from a home? That's what makes it hard. Because there you are not acting. You're living. It's the real you. It's the real you. So that is why even the pastoral example that you gave, you'll find that there is a pastor who is denied at that level by his own wife. Because he is good at what he does. But he's not good. Yes. But he's not good as in who he is as a person. Because he has the charisma, yes, but he doesn't have the character. So looking at leadership first from the homes, I think the point we are trying to elevate is that leadership must first be rooted, find its foundation in one's character. So character is not studied in schools. Character is not passed on through prayer or anything.
No.
Character is cultivated. It is developed. And then on that one, we also must not just parent our children through instructions. Because children do what they see. Way beyond what they hear. But
as a matter of fact, they read you. They just say, Dad is going to say this. Mom is going to say this. I'll be fine.
And we think they are not seeing. So now the question is, what is it that they are seeing? Because if it is not in me, they will not see it.
So in other
they will
words,
hear what I'm saying.
Are you saying that our children end up being what they see us do?
Of course. Of course. And that is from different sources. Number one, nobody is greater to a child than his own parent.
Okay.
Naturally, we're just their heroes. That's why in schools they will just be talking about us.
My dad this, my mom this.
Because to us we are their heroes. So even some of the wrong things that we do, they might know that this is wrong, but they might say, I think it's normal. I think it's normal to shout at a woman.
Yeah.
I think it's normal when you're angry. So they'll do the same. But also, because of how they perceive you, if, say, you buy your wife some flowers, say you buy your wife some good gifts, even the wife is well able to take care of the husband, the daughter will turn out to be the same.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was saying. Now, but the challenge is it in us? Because if
or you're acting.
Oh yes, because if you're acting, you won't do it for long.
So are you saying that it is good for daughters to aspire to, or daughters who eventually aspire to get married to a husband that was like their father?
Yes, and there is nothing wrong with that. Yes, there is. I'll give you an example. I grew up in a home where humility was defined, never in words, in actions. My mom went to school in her old age, but she was able to do maybe an MSc, a degree, and then eventually a master's. My mom has held very top jobs in the government. She's been an MP before. She's held very big jobs. But my dad was a driver in the government.
Oh.
So the people who were driving my mom to work were my daddy's friends.
Yeah.
When they are at Capitol Hill, they were doing bow together. You see? But I never saw in my whole life my mom belittling my dad.
Because of the job that she had.
Yes. Even when my dad was not acting out of character, we go to her, she'll be on his side. I never saw her despite. So for me, it now becomes a challenge. I'm not imposing standards on my wife, but I have a challenge.
Yes.
I saw what humility means.
Yeah.
I saw what submission means. So when I see that this is not humility, this is not submission, I will know.
Yeah.
So you can actually see that even just dating, I'm not trying to marry my mom again, but I'll be able to say.
I think that's what you're trying to do. And I think you're putting pressure on your wife to become like your mother. Remember now, ladies of nowadays, they are woke. That's the word that they're using now. They are woke. They don't want to behave like our mothers.
Okay, so now that's where the challenge is. Because people become what they follow. Even Jesus said, come follow me.
Yeah.
I'll make you. So the making is in the following.
Yeah.
Now the question is...
But you can't follow if you're not humble.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. So that is why you see that we are in a generation packed with information.
Yeah.
But we're the most ignorant.
Yeah.
Our moms, our dads did not have Google and all that. They just knew what was right.
What was right. And they would even predict the weather. Actually,
Yes.
It's a discussion for another day. I have been discussing this issue to say we need to ensure that we are legitimizing, we need to find a way of legitimizing indigenous knowledge. That our forefathers would know what is going to rain today or it's going to be drought in this year without any scientific tools.
But let me ask you a question. How did they know?
Through knowledge and through experience.
Someone passed it on to them.
So they would know, okay, the way things are going like this, I think this year, it will be chaotic. We will not have food.
We will not have food.
Yeah.
Because that's what our forefathers told us.
Yes.
So now that's what I'm saying to say modeling is everything. This thought that you have just conveyed, that nowadays women are finding it hard to, we have broken ranks somewhere because character is transitional. It's transitioned. What you are, you must duplicate it into your children. And then your children must duplicate it into their children.
And then there, I like what you're saying there. So you're talking about modernization and its impact on culture. Because I believe that however modernization takes place, whatever modernization does to our society, there must be a degree of a certain percentage of our culture that has to be maintained and retained in us.
Yes.
Because I believe that culture is our heritage.
Of course.
Culture is our place of power. Culture is that which that gives us what we are. So if you're talking about who you are and whatever, a person or a parent or a leader must first define who they are. And who they are has everything to do with what they were able to receive from their parents.
And pass it on.
Yes.
So on that one, we're talking about leadership,
Mhm.
imparting culture on our kids. They are not interested. They are
Yeah,
based
no,
on their
they're not.
gadgets,
Yeah.
but we must lead.
Yeah.
This is not parenting, because parenting here won't work. Because actually there are some parents that are being parented by their children.
How is that?
When you now allow a child to tell you what to do. I'll give you an example of maybe what social media is to kids. A child comes back from school. The first thing she will ask for is, where is my phone? If there is no data there,
There's no data.
Can you put data here? So, because us also, in a way, we are disconnected at life level with the children.
Yeah.
We quickly give them what they want, because they will get busy. They'll get busy,
and then
us will
we
be
have time
able
to do
to
other
be
things.
busy also.
I'll tell you something. My cousin visited me with her children the other day, and then there was also another cousin that was visiting with her child, and then there were like about 6 children in the house, and I noted that each one of them were busy on their phone. So what I did, I took away the phones, all the phones, 6 of them. I put them in. I said, please chat, talk, connect. 2 hours later, I could see them running around, doing this, interacting, which is like what we did in our childhood. In our childhood, at 7:30, you're not home. They actually had to send a search party to look for you, because that's what we were doing. We didn't have these gadgets. However, we still need to understand that times are changing, but we need to find ways and means of ensuring that technology and the modernization that is happening to us is enhancing who we are in the first place, and not taking away what we are. Because then I think for me, that's what is becoming destructive. Because if you have a child that does not have that parenting or leadership in the home, they're just growing. It means they'll just grow like a bush flower or like a bush tree. Just grow.
Yes.
They don't have any morals. They don't have any values. They don't have any grounding. And then identity.
Identity, yes.
There should be something that says, this is Dr. Kaswe Onkanda's child. What would they have seen?
Of course.
What would the people have seen for them to conclude this child is Nkanda?
Now, I was about to comment on the same, going back to how you started this, that parenting is key when it starts from the home. Hearing you talk, I'm picking 2 key things. There are principles that we must pass on to our children. These are laws by which they will live by.
Yeah.
For anything unusual, anything strange to them, it's a straight no.
Yeah.
They will not struggle to say no, because it's off their principles, but also standards. Now, standards or maybe principles are transferred better from our place of character.
Yeah.
Not just being a dad or a father, but you have character. You are now able to pass on some principles to your children. But the second one is standards. We have a task, a challenge as parents to say, if there is an inflation, will that dictate how I am to raise my kids? Because now that becomes external.
Yeah, that's
and not
an
internal.
external force. Yeah.
Yes, it's me reacting to my environment and not being proactive. That's where not everyone can be a leader or a parent, because I have to set a certain standard of life to my kids. This is me setting my standard.
Yeah, but Dr. Nkanda, then life happens.
Of course.
The economy will take a turn.
Okay.
You can no longer afford to pay DSTV.
I'll balance
you
it.
cannot no longer afford to buy the data that your children want. So those standards. So I want you to explain maybe, how do you maintain those standards when the going gets tough?
Excellent question. So on just what you've said here, our children must be exposed to both worlds. The world that is tough, like how is life like when we don't have enough money? It looks like this. How do we cope up in an environment like this one? How do we live life when we are in abundance? So now, when you strike that balance, in a day when you don't have much, kids do not just know what you have. They know who you are as a dad. They know that we are going to these schools, not that my dad has got everything, but he stretches.
Well, because he likes standards. So his standards of
Yes.
education are that we go to
Yes, yes. But in a day when he's not able to, we will not judge him by his situation. We will judge him by his standards to say, okay, our dad is a good man, but I think he's challenged. But I wanted also to convey this point to say, you don't make standards, you don't frame standards for your family according to your means.
Yeah.
You must frame them according to the family vision. Because you can frame.
I'll stop you right there. This family vision, who crafts it?
A man.
The man has to
man
lead in
must craft
crafting
a
the vision.
This is where I'm taking us.
So it means, therefore, we don't get there. You are responsible for not taking us to paradise.
100%. 100%.
Then it means, therefore, if the man crafts a vision, and I wrote something like this in one of my books, where I said a visionless man is a very dangerous man.
Of course.
Because he doesn't know where to take us.
Yes.
And then he will take us anywhere.
Yes.
And also he falls for everything.
And
because he doesn't have a vision.
Anywhere will become a
The
destination.
wind comes, it blows, even a small wind. This man is going to be shaken because he's a visionless man, a very dangerous man. So I want to find out, in your own understanding, when a man crafts a vision, what does it take for that vision to come to pass within the home? How does he lead the family now achieving the goals that are needed to achieve the vision?
Good question there. So a man must first see. He sees a place where he must take his family to. He goes to that place, like the example you gave about Joshua and Caleb, and then he comes back. He's assessed all the challenges that are along the way.
He knows it's not going to be easy.
He knows. So now the first thing he's going to do is to cast that vision to the family.
Yeah.
So vision casting requires grace, because you are telling people about something they have not seen.
Not only that, you're telling people that have their own thoughts.
Yes,
how the
they
vision
have their
must
own
be,
plans. And sometimes your wife has got somewhere to go. Your kids, they have got some. So there is what we call synchronization, where you take her vision to fit into the bigger picture. And when you are casting that vision, you are not making that vision to be about you.
No.
You've already lost them.
Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah.
So that's why herself is found
within
under that vision.
Yes.
The kids under that vision. Yourself in that vision. So now you buy it as followers. You buy it.
You buy into it.
And then you count the cost, because there's a price to pay.
No, there is a price. There's
and then
always a price.
You now begin to say, what would it take for us to get there?